So can I tell you just how disappointed I am at Universal Studios? This is something I was going to use for theme park rumors at some point, but now there's no rumor. In fact, all the fun has been drained out of this thing. So the Terminator 2 3D ride has been closed for like a couple of years, getting close to a couple of years. And so this big, it's kind of a park draw. Yeah, Terminator was a little aged, but they decided they were going to shut it down. And all that Universal said is we're going to be replacing it with something from a high-energy franchise, which could mean a lot. It's actually really kind of cool and exciting. I like when there's something like that that's extremely vague, gives you a lot of different things to think on. And so Universal was doing their thing. They even took apart the theater. They blew out the back of the theater. They made the space bigger, the stage area bigger on the inside, so they could do even more. And I heard there were 3 rumors for things that it could be. It could be a 007 James Bond type attraction. I pretty well assumed that no matter what's going to be put in here, it was going to be some sort of 3D movie attraction type of thing, because it's still got the theater set up. So it could be like a 007 thing. The other thing I heard is that it was going to be some sort of Jason Bourne attraction. And the last one that I heard that was super exciting is that I heard the rumor that it might be Star Trek, which I think would be genius. I think would be really, really cool. Not only would that be kind of a perfect situation for some sort of attraction like that, movie, theater, you could have battles and all sorts of crazy stuff happening. With the revitalization of the Star Trek universe, we've got not only Discovery that's going to be going on to their 3rd season, we've got Picard's going to be coming out. We have, I heard there's going to be another spin-off of Discovery that's going to be focused on Section 31. I heard there's going to be 1, maybe even 2 animated Star Trek series that are going to be coming out. There's going to be this boom of Star Trek coming, which is awesome, and I'm excited for it, and I'm really happy about it all. And that would be a perfect opportunity for Universal to seize that. Especially, okay, let's even forget about the false dichotomy of Star Trek and Star Wars. Yes, Disney owns Star Wars, so they're doing lots of Star Wars stuff, and it's really cool, and it's really fun. I haven't had a chance to see it yet, but everything that I've heard is that it's really fun. And, man, merch galore. Let's even pretend there's the false dichotomy of you have to have one or the other. Okay, if Universal took on Star Trek stuff, that would be awesome for them. It would bring that whole other section of the Star Trek fandom to them, not to mention the merchandising. Okay, for one, there's the Universal end of merchandising of, oh man, they could make so many products and make so much money, like Harry Potter all over again. The wands and the robes and everything sell. Well, guess what? You get yourself phasers and communicators and Star Trek uniforms. Those are going to sell like crazy too. Secondly, from a fan's perspective, if I could get a Star Trek uniform, like a real, honest-to-goodness, a good-looking Star Trek uniform that fit me, I would be excited. I would immediately buy one. I would want to buy a tricorder. I would want the things. So, but no. Universal did not go with Star Trek. They actually announced that starting in spring of next year, 2020, it's going to be a Jason Bourne Stuntacular. That's right. The Jason Bourne films were the last film, came out 3 years ago, but Universal decided they're going to go with that because, well, Universal owns the Jason Bourne film series, which means they don't have to pay anything more for the rights to that. What a stupid decision and a waste. Okay, the last few attractions that they've had come out, okay, alright, most of the last few attractions they've had come out, I haven't been excited to see. The Jimmy Fallon ride, I haven't been on yet. I still would like to just do it the once, but whatever. They own Jimmy Fallon, they did Jimmy Fallon in place of Twister. What a waste. Kong, I've ridden Kong a couple times. It is cool. There's some cool parts to it, but honestly, I think the scenery and that one big animatronic at the end is the best part of it, but the rest of it, meh. Fast and Furious replacing Disaster. I've heard nothing but terrible stuff about that. Again, I'll probably do it the once, just cuz, but not excited about that. Okay, Hagrid's motorbike ride. I haven't had a chance to do that yet, but I'm excited to. I want to, maybe tomorrow. I'm excited for that. But so much of the other stuff, I think Universal has dropped the ball on new attractions and new stuff. Boo. So, to no Star Trek at Universal. Such a letdown. Such a heartbreaker. I would have screamed it from the rooftops. Oh well. I guess let's get this episode started. Alright, welcome on back to yet another one of our shorter episodes of Rich Does a Thing. And let's see if we can find out what kind of topics we are going for today. Thank you, producers. Alright, so looks like, what not to do in a store. It's been a while since we've done one of those, and it's about time. Let's see if we can give you not a one but a two shot of a couple things that you really shouldn't do in a store, and I've seen it a lot. Alright, let's check out the video here. Alright, we appear to be at a big box establishment. There's not much going on in the cart. Oh, bring that aside. Oh, ribs. There's a big, it's like a rack of ribs right there, and they are raw and floppy, and we're leaving those on top of the swimming pool and walking away. Alright, that's pretty terrible. That's, raw meat left out in an unrefrigerated space in the middle of the store, and I have seen that so many times. Okay, listen, if you have something refrigerated or frozen, if you don't want it, put it back. Even not necessarily out of sheer laziness. This kills me. This kills me. This hurts. If you have something raw or like refrigerated or frozen and you don't want it anymore, put it back. You know where it came from. You even at least have some idea where it came from. Even if you don't know where it exactly came from, put it back in another refrigerated or frozen space. Because what happens is the employees have no idea how long that's been out there. The fact that you've even had that sitting around in your cart is not great for the next person who would be picking it up, because you can build germs, bacteria, and stuff like that in there. But seriously, they have no idea how long it's been out, so they have to throw that away. They have to throw away that whole giant piece of dead animal that they slaughtered just for someone to eat, and now it's not even going to get eaten. It's just going to get thrown out because you left it out. It's really dangerous. I've seen it, ice cream, frozen pizzas, anything frozen like that, same thing. If it's frozen, it needs to be frozen. If it's refrigerated, it needs to be refrigerated. So if you leave that in the middle of the furniture section, or leave it in like one of the packages where they keep the gum and stuff by the register, if you take your, pack of veal and just cram it in there because you just suddenly realize that you didn't want it. Which, if you didn't want it, why did you pick it up? Why? You have all that time while you are at home to figure out what you need from the grocery store. And yeah, I grab some impulse buy stuff too myself. I go in there with little bag of, okay, this is how much I'm going to be picking up, and leave with a cart full of stuff because, I should also get this. I should also get that. Hey, look, fruit roll-ups are on sale. I don't know. But you have all that time to figure out what you need. Don't go to the register and then realize that you don't want something refrigerated and just throw it like on the counter. You can figure out how much something is before it gets to the register. There's not a whole lot of stuff that doesn't have a price on it. And if there isn't, sure, you can ask, but then you know what? They would be happy to put that back, or you can find somebody before you get to the register. But if you just leave that out, they're going to throw it away, and you're a jerk. So when it comes to taking refrigerated frozen things like that, and just leaving them out like that, and walking away like that, don't do it. That is a thing you do not do in a store. And also, for the record, If you look, yeah, I picked that up, and I immediately took that back, like immediately. I actually had my shot figured out and set up, grabbed the meat from the counter, and like ran over to the area where the swimming pools were, got it, did it, and then immediately put it back, just because I would be a jerk if I left it out of the refrigeration for too long. So just be mindful. It's what we're asking for. All right, let's go for a double hit of things not to do in a store. All right. So the second thing that kills me when people do over and over and over again is when you go up to the register or someone that you're trying to talk to, and you say, "Hey, can I use this card here? Hey, will this card do me any good? Are there any discounts for this? Is this accepted here?" Listen, if you're holding a card right there on its edge, nobody can see what it is. This could be my driver's license. This could be my Social Security card. This could be my rewards card to the old folks' home. I don't know. This could be yeah, who knows? Unless you show it to someone, hey, this is my card. I have, it could be a rewards card. It could be a credit card. It could be whatever. Nobody knows if you show it to them like this. I swear, I've had people show it to me right there on its edge, and I have moved my head to the side to try to figure out what's on the card, and I've seen them moving the card to kind of match where my face is. And the annoying thing, well, no, I don't know if it's not annoying, but I don't think people are doing it on purpose. But people aren't thinking about it, which is one of the reasons why I'm doing this public service announcement to you, so that you will think about it. If you're showing something, a business card, a credit card, or whatever, don't show it to them on the edge. I'm sure, it's longer, so I'm sure you're thinking, I'm presenting it, I'm pointing it at them, but you're not pointing it at them. This would be pointing it at them. This would be showing them what's actually on the face of the card. So, you know what? Do not do that in a store, because people will not like you. Thank you. Cool. All right. Next up, let's do a little bit more RICHcraft. Hey, check this out. Hey, and welcome back to some RICHcraft. Here's a fairly simple trick with a fairly simple premise. We have 3 of these metal nuts here. The basic idea is you take 1 and 2, goes in the hand, that third one goes in the pocket. And with a little movement such as that, you actually get all 3 of them to come right on back up into the hand. So again, simple concept. You take 1, you take 2, goes in the hand. Third one goes in the pocket. A movement of the hand makes it so that they all jump back up together. So once you've established that pattern of the 1 and 2 going into the hand, you take that third one and it goes into the pocket, and it's pretty simple to see that you get that third nut to go up. I screwed that one up. Not so much like screwed up, it's a bolt rather than a screw, but nevertheless, it's not really what any of us expected anyway. But that can happen. With a little bit of twist, you can get those on there faster than anyone would ever dream. And that's pretty cool. Or, well, I call it RICHcraft. Thanks for hanging out. I hope you enjoyed that bit of RICHcraft. Thank you. All right, I think last but not least, we've got ourselves... No, we've done that one. We've got, some cooking with Rich. So, I don't consider myself like a crazy, good cook. I'm not skilled, I'm not learned, but I like to learn things. So when I don't know how to do something, I will look it up, and I will try to continue to improve on those things until it gets better. So I've learned little bits of cooking here and there, which sometimes it's really annoying that I'll try other ways of cooking things, and then when I look it up, it's way simpler than I've been trying to make it. And sometimes these little things are really cool, and I want to share them with you. First thing I want to share with you are these amazing little things. I used to enjoy eating at the Macaroni Grill. We had one that was right down the road, and there was a chicken parm that I really enjoyed from them. And they had these little kind of like grape tomatoes that were sliced in half and they were baked, and I just thought that was a nice little additive and it had some great flavor to it. So I looked up a way to be able to do something like that, and ever since I've discovered how to do that, I think they're great. They're not terribly expensive to just grab some of that, and you can throw them on top of like a pasta. You can throw them on top of like even mac and cheese or something like that, and it just really adds some great flavor. So it's a quick little thing, and I want to share that with you and show you how I make them. So come on in, let's check it out. All right, so I want to show you how to cook some of these great little tomatoes, like I said, for going on pasta. It's actually a pretty simple recipe. From what I've learned with cooking, it all kind of boils down to heat something up, add a little bit of salt and pepper, and sometimes you can add some onion or garlic and it just makes everything taste good. This recipe is actually no different. You only need a few things for this recipe. Some sort of container that you can put inside of an oven. I use a 2-cup Pyrex bowl because Pyrex glass will not shatter, regular glass will. Vinegar, olive oil, salt, pepper, garlic. You know that little jar of minced garlic that you have kicking around in your refrigerator? If you don't have one of those, you should invest in one because you can use it for a lot of different things, a lot of different recipes, and it doesn't go bad for a long time. So it's just a really good investment anyway. So yeah, garlic. Tomatoes. I like using cherry or grape tomatoes. They're a little bit smaller than these that we have here, but this is what they had available. So the prep for this is actually pretty simple. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take a bunch of these tomatoes and we're gonna at very least cut them in half. Cutting them in half breaks the skin, so it actually helps get all the juices, everything out of them. Now because these are a little bit larger than what I tend to use, for some of these I'm actually even gonna cut them in quarters. That way they still end up with a fairly small size. Once you've cut those, go ahead and place them inside of your Pyrex bowl and then take some of the vinegar. I use some white vinegar, but it probably doesn't make a huge difference what kind. Although you start using apple cider vinegar and stuff like that, you're gonna add a whole bunch of different flavors into it that maybe doesn't work so well. So try something simple. Just put a few splashes in there, just enough so that every bit of the tomatoes can actually get some of the vinegar. Next is when I like to put a little oil. If you have a sprayer, you can certainly spray some of the oil on there. The oil is actually where most of your calories are going to come from on this, although there's not really a whole lot. Sometimes if you just take a little bit and drizzle it on top, that works as well. That's going to help the rest of this stick. On top of that, you're going to add some of the salt and pepper. Now, I've actually noticed from all the cooking that I've done that there's a lot of things that ask for salt and pepper to be added to the recipe. Now, there's a lot of things in here that are going to add flavor, but salt sometimes, if you have any sort of high blood pressure or pre-hypertension or anything like that, maybe you're trying to avoid salt, and you know what? In this case, you don't really need it. Between the garlic, the vinegar, the oil, the pepper, everything, there's going to be a lot of flavor going on here. You're not really going to miss the salt. We add some pepper on top of that. Finally, we're going to add some garlic. Now, if you happen to get some of the liquid that's in there, that's absolutely fine because it is all sorts of flavorful. Once you've got all that in there, go ahead and mix everything up so that the garlic, the pepper, all of that flavor is actually going to get mixed together. That oil is actually going to help it as you're baking it. Now that you got these mixed up, you're going to want to put them in some sort of oven-like container. When I say an oven-like container, you can put it in a toaster oven and it's fine. This is really small, so you don't need to heat up that whole giant oven in order to be able to bake this. I use it in my toaster oven. I set it to around 350, 375, somewhere around there. It doesn't make a huge difference, and I'm going to set it to bake. Now, depending on how cooked you want them to be, you can cook them for a little bit more or a little bit less. I don't even have really a general idea of how much time that I use to bake them. I just throw them in first so that they've got plenty of time to do their thing as I'm preparing the rest of the dish. I'm actually going to be making spaghetti tonight, so I'm going to be making the rest of the sauce and everything as I'm watching them. Usually I let them bake at that 350 for
a few minutes, maybe about 10 minutes or so, and then I knock it down to a much lower temperature, maybe around 200 or so, just to kind of keep them warm and maybe to give them a slow bake while everything else is getting ready. Really, you're going to end up cooking them to your taste. If you like them a little bit more cooked and soft, you can do that. Or if you just want them kind of lightly cooked and warm, then you can absolutely do that as well. Either way, it's going to turn out really good. So now that those tomatoes are completely cooked, they actually got a little bit of liquid in them. A lot of that is from the tomatoes themselves, liquid that they've given off. We still have some of that vinegar and oil in the bottom as well. So that's all that juices are really flavorful. Now you can take some of those and you can put it on top of whatever you want, whether it be mac and cheese, pasta, or something like that. Feel free to add some of that liquid as well, because like I said, it is just loaded with flavor and it's good stuff. It doesn't take but just a couple minutes to toss together while you're in the middle of making some other pasta stuff, and it actually adds quite a bit.
Hey, so that is the very first installment of Cooking with Rich. I hope it was fun and informative for you. Well, thank you for coming to hang out with me once again on this wonderful little space of YouTube that I've carved out. And tune in again to see us sometime. Of course, if you're not on the Facebook page, check out Rich Does a Thing on Facebook. Please, please, please hit the subscribe button down here in YouTube. And check us out at all the other social media outlets. Instagram, Snapchat, Tumblr, Twitter, Pinterest, whatever. Check us out there. So until then, I shall see you next time. Bye.